Latz is pitching tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
How,
I think so.
How do you think he's gone about this whole, I mean, obviously it's 10 days in. It's February 23rd, I know that would be your line. But how do you think he's kind of approached this whole idea of trying to win a job in the rotation? What have you noticed?
Exactly like he should go about it. I mean, he's trying to win a spot. He's doing everything he can on the field or inside the clubhouse to show that he's ready for the fifth spot in the rotation. It's a good and a bad thing how good he is in the bullpen and as a starter. So, there's some guys that can't do both, and he's so valuable to our club or to There's hard to find that type of pitcher in the industry that can do both and be successful at it. But he has he's been really good at as a starter. He's been really good at a high leverage bullpen piece. But right now he's attacking it like he's going to try to win the fifth spot, and he should be attacking it like it.
What does he controls himself in that, right? But he doesn't control y'all's decision making. I mean, his performance and what y'all end up doing for a decision may be mutually exclusive.
We have a month left, so there's a lot of things that can happen. So he's going to have his first start tomorrow, and then we'll kind of see how it goes. But I'm not going to put him in the bullpen anytime soon. He's going to be on his rotation or his whatever 6 days, and so we'll see how it all shakes out. But the decision at the end is dictated on. There is performance component, there's roster construction and health. So we'll see what happens.
Right now, at least this first turn, you're going to go basically a 6-man rotation essentially, right?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's some piggybacks. Cal's leaving soon. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of starters that have to.
I mean, between Nathan's first start and his second start, there will be.
Correct.
5 full days of rest.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you need to see Latz pitch out of the bullpen in spring, regardless of kind of how it ends? Is that something you guys are going to make sure you see?
We haven't discussed it yet, so we're going to give him an opportunity to win the spot, and then go from there. But we know he's pretty successful in the bullpen. There's a fifth spot right now that he is deserving to challenge and compete for. So, we'll talk about that other stuff as it gets down to the wire.
You brought up Cal and him leaving for the WBC. He's also obviously in contention for that fifth spot. So how do you evaluate him through this process?
Yeah, I mean, you watch it on TV, which is crazy, but it's just part of the deal. We're not the only team that's watching a pitcher or position player facing another team in the WBC, and you kind of evaluate that way as well. He is just because he's pitching for Canada doesn't mean he's not part of the competition. So we watch the games just like you guys will, and trying to figure out if he made adjustments from his previous start. Obviously, it's a little different with the competition and fans in the stands, and there's a lot more adrenaline. And but he's a pro. He's done it for so long that I anticipate him going out there to compete for his country, but also continuing to work on stuff for the regular season. So he's the type of pitcher you don't really worry about too much, because he has a plan to attack, and try to still make a roster on top of, trying to win for his team.
I should ask you this after the game yesterday, but just like the Evan Carter pickoff yesterday, that's more of a case you guys are trying right now to say, like, let's push as far as we can, right?
It's only acceptable to get picked off if you're trying to steal that pitch.
Okay.
That's the best way I can explain it. So I don't know if he was going or not that pitch, the kind of quick step off, snap throw. If he was going, then that's okay during the regular season. Right now, I think they're trying to get comfortable with their leads and their lead length. Whether or not that's I haven't looked at the data. Travis has it to see how far he was out. But it's also, on us as a coaching staff to know if he has a snap move or not to, tee him up for that type of stuff. And so when something like that happens, that's my fault for not, showing him or, letting him know that there's a chance that he has this kind of snap throw. But yeah, we do want guys to extend their leads a little bit. However, I don't want them to be on an island either out there to feel like they can't get a good jump to go in fear of getting picked. So it's kind of a fine line. I'd rather you have a really good jump and be 6 inches shorter to the bag than, being out there, not get a good jump and run into outs. So that's why we're here, spring training, and to feel it out. And I think, but I do feel like Carter, he's going to steal some bases this year. He is smart, he's fast, and just, because of the new rules and everything, I think he has a chance to really open up some eyes on the bases.
Last year, Jack took a major step forward, obviously. What are the things you look at with him that suggest it can be maintained or even another level can be reached this season? Early count outs, quicker outs, 15 pitches or under per inning, that type of thought. He's got, big velo, big stuff. You guys watched the game yesterday. I think, that was a long game because there were just so many pitches every inning, and it's exhausting on both sides, quite honestly. So I think, him understanding that he's got good enough stuff inside the strike zone, doesn't have to punch anybody out, but I think, the thought is 15 or under, I think would probably be the best for him and get deeper into games, and he wants that. And his stuff is where you can get, you can miss barrels and put it in play and get outs. He doesn't have to punch everybody out. So he's still learning in this game, man. It's he's got a long way to go, but but he's off to a really good start. And I've said this before with a lot of our guys, I love how the mind works. His mind really works. He's trying to get better. Obviously, he grew up in a pretty decent house, so he has an idea. I'm sure he talks pitching every single night. So I think the next step is just how many early count outs can we get?
Yeah, I think he was like 17 pitches an inning last year.
Yeah, I don't know offhand. I think it would be just a really good 12 to 15 pitches is the goal. And you can still punch people out with that.
Garcia's pitching today, correct?
He is pitching today. Wynn, Collier. Yeah.
I know Garcia's first outing wasn't as good as it could have been. What changes do you think he needs to make to kind of be in those high leverage situations?
Yeah, another guy that's going for into the WBC, trying to make sure he's sharp and probably in the later innings for his country in the WBC. So I think the changeup is what he wasn't thrilled with last outing. Getting ahead, I don't think he was thrilled with either. So February 20th, it was his first outing, so he's going to be okay. I think him just syncing up his mechanics, making sure he's not showing his changeup, and not just not ball out of hand type of deal. So that's his pitch. If he gets it over, strike and strike to ball, he's going to be fine. But I think just refining that pitch, because that pitch is pretty elite. You can't say one more. Once you say we're good, you can't say one more.
Last thing.
Okay.
Figure I better get something in. You feel, you said all this stuff, but I just want to ask it again in a more direct way, okay?
Okay.
You've spoken very eloquently and with very high praise about who Wyatt Langford is.
Mm-hmm.
Is he part of the core of this club's future? Is he at the center of this club's future?
I mean, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on him. I think
There's a number 5 is probably at the center of everything, and I think he has. I think he'll probably learn from not only him, but we got a right fielder that he'll probably learn from this year, and a couple starting pitchers, and I think he's still growing into that. But he's absolutely part of the core, part of the kind of the leadership that I'm looking forward to seeing a couple of these guys take their next step. But yeah, I don't. The center, I mean, number 5 is the center, I'm guessing. Not guessing, I'm pretty confident in.
It's more along the lines of long term, right? And Corey still is, and I think that he's going to continue to be for a while, but I also think that, Corey's now 30, and you know what happens deeper into your 30s for a lot of players, and Wyatt's still in his 20s. I don't know if there. It's parsing nits. I mean, I'm just trying to. Your answer is fine. It's like, yeah, is he the epicenter? Maybe he's not the epicenter, but he's right there.
Yeah, I mean, he's really good, and I think he's growing into. It's his second year. It's his third. I mean, he's played 2 years. It's his third year. So I don't want to do this thing. He's a really good player that has leadership qualities, and I think. He's learning a lot still through that shortstop, which is a good thing, and I think he can grow into whatever you want him to grow into. And but I think he's going to be part of our core for a long time.